right, GE. You should see it start here in just a second.
Yep, here it goes. I got a feed.
Cool.
Keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther.
I really hate that they couldn't see your dance moves there, GE. I'm not hearing you, GE.
Nope.
Can you guys hear?
I hear you.
Oh shit! Sorry,
There we go.
I was muted. I don't know why. I don't know why you would like my dancing. I mean, it looks like I'm double fisting two big dicks.
Oh, okay. So hopefully, guys, welcome back. By the way, if you're following from the last stream, hopefully this one won't drop. Please let us know in the live chat if everything looks good. I saw that Nathan has just he's just dialed in too, so I will put him on the screen here in just a second. G, anything that you want to say starting out before we hand it over to?
No, well, I mean, I don't really know what to expect from tonight. Although I am interested to see what topics come up. It's always interesting to hear new topics. So hopefully we can talk about some new things tonight. But you know, I know that I'm not here to have the argument or the debate, rather the discussion. It's up to Fight the Flat Earth and his opponent, which I'm not exactly all that well versed with or whatever. So yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome. Okay. Fight the Flat Earth. Do you want to explain how things are kind of go while I get Nathan set up?
Yeah. Before we get going, just want to say two things. Scotty Storm's in the chat, and you know he was invited here, but he's bitch made. And also Celtic 37, whatever your name is, who's been bugging me in the chats with the same question over and over and over. Again, I've already told you this, but now I'm going to do it live in front of all these people. If you want gas pressure without a container, please explain to me how an aircraft maintains lift, and also what a storm/weather system is, because both of those things are gas pressures maintained without a container. Stop asking the same dumbass question over and over if you're just going to ignore the answer. Right, so David is someone that I actually knew on Facebook before I even started Fight the Flat Earth, and is probably one of the reasons why I started the channel along with everything else. He's pretty well known around the Facebook groups. David, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I have I have a little introduction on the slideshow. But basically, let me see. A little bit about myself. I mean, my name is David. I live in Los Angeles, California. I've been studying the flat earth since 2015. That's when I started becoming aware of it, started looking at it. I was born and raised in California. I actually, before I start, I was a globe believer. My dad used to work at Lockheed over here in Burbank, California. That's where I knew a lot. Learned a lot about the heliocentric model, I guess. And mainly from, you know, because my dad worked on the SR-71. He worked on a couple other different planes, and so that's the kind of mentality I was in until 2015 when I changed and started looking into the flat earth and know that it's real. The flat earth is real, and there's a deception out there. People are just getting deceived. And
right.
I mean, that's basically it. That's what we're going to go over.
Yeah. So me and David have talked beforehand. We agreed that Nathan Thompson would moderate the debate. Thank you, Nathan, for coming on and doing that. Kyle, did you get that video that I sent you earlier on Twitter?
Let me do that while you continue to.
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw, Nathan, but I did a video on Wednesday along with Team Skeptic where we put the UK against the USA as to who they thought was the dumbest, and you were the USA's and UK's Nathan. After the video, there was a vote on my channel which had about 1,000 votes, and Kyle will play the video now, which you have the result of that to say which country's Nathan was voted as the dumbest. So I think you might like the results, actually. Kyle, just get that queued up.
Yeah, it's going to take me just a second.
Yeah.
Can Nathan hear you, actually?
Nathan, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Right, cool. Just checking. Yeah.
Yeah. GE, why don't you tell us something funny while I download this video real quick?
Okay. So Nathan, actually, there is somebody in the chat that named Sean Hawkins. Do you know that name?
Doesn't sound familiar, no.
Okay. Well, he's in there saying how you challenged him to a debate, or he challenged you, and you seem to not, go through with it. And I'm just wondering, like, if that like rings a bell at all.
Is that guy who claims to be a flat earther and then went back to being a globe earther and only wants to talk about the Bible?
No, that's clear cognition.
I'm good to go when y'all are, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Anyway, so
the
the results of the vote as to whose countries Nathan was the dumber, UK or USA?
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
There we go. So, Nathan, you are not the dumbest, Nathan, apparently. So that must feel pretty good.
I can run circles.
Well, there you go. Anyway, right. So yeah, me and David spoke beforehand, and we agreed that Nathan Thompson would moderate the debate. David, you say you've got an introduction on some slides and stuff, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Do you want to just start by going through that, and then?
Yeah, I just was briefly talking a little bit about myself. Currently right now I work in sales. I do, but beforehand I did some work with the U.S. Navy Seabees. Did some underwater welding. I did a lot of reading, a lot of studying in that area. So I'm kind of familiar with the globe model and how everything works. But like I said, 2015 when I started looking into the flat Earth, mainly the main points that I really want to go over is the slideshow up? You have a slideshow up?
Yeah, I can do that.
If you look at the second page.
Okay.
Second
page?
right after the second page.
Okay.
Yes. This is basically my point, so I want to really go into today. It's gonna be just basic stuff. Nothing crazy, but like I said, my name is David, and I plan to provide evidence that has proven to me and many others that we live on a flat stationary plane. My objective is to help convey this evidence so that everyone can understand. But before getting to the evidence, we need to understand that there is a deception, runs deep. And to overcome the deception, at least for these couple hours, I'm going to ask for a few things from everyone. Just humbly listen to what I have to say with an open mind. Understand what I say, even though you might not believe it. It is possible. Understand that the celestial bodies in the sky or anything that does not physically touch the ground we walk on has no influence on the shape of the earth. I don't subscribe to any model, since we don't need a model to show that the ground we walk on is a plane. And that's basically what I'm gonna go over. And kind of short, but that's what I got so far.
Okay. Just carry on with your presentation now, and then we can just have a back and forth afterwards. That's fine.
You can go to the
All
next
right.
page,
So
David.
Number 4. Number 4. Number 4 just is the general concepts of the flat Earth. Let's see. Number 1 is there has been no measured curvature anywhere in the world. Water has has no convexity, no bumps, no curves. Water allegedly covers 71% of the Earth, and no curvature. So there's no curvature equals level flat plane. The Earth is stationary. There's no experiment that shows the flat Earth is moving. And if you go on to the next one just lists a bunch of evidence, and the links are to exactly what I'm talking about. But number one is the 146-mile microwave transmission proves a flat Earth. That's over there in the Mediterranean, where they have the record of transmitting microwave a signal across the Mediterranean, and it's 146 with no interruptions, nothing in between. It's just straight connection. And then got a Monterey Bay. There was observations done right there. This was kind of different from anything else. It was done with a mirror reflection, showing that there's no refraction or anything like that. With the mirror reflection, there can't be any refraction. And the same thing happened with the Salton Sea. And these are the miles. And so like Monterey Bay was 13 miles, then Salton Sea was 9 miles. And those are just observations. And if you go to number four is these are documents from the U.S. military showing that they have antennas that go, the one that number 4 in particular goes anywhere from 100 to 1,000 meters radiating antenna, and it just shows that there's no interruptions. And they specifically say that they're working on a flat stationary plane. Number 5 is Chicago skyline viewed from 60 miles. Everybody knows that one. Then go to the next page. Let's see. The Army document. Army equations assume a flat Earth. This is just a trajectory of spinning projectiles, and they're specifically talking about the test what they're doing is on a stationary flat plane. We have NASA rocket trajectory, problem solved with a non-rotating Earth. And basically they had some issues, but they solved the issues putting out their equations to be on a flat stationary plane. Number 3 is no Coriolis effects, and this is something I went over a lot. I went over in depth, and it basically talks about that there's the flight manuals for air pilots. They don't have anything dealing with the Coriolis effect, and then also military rifle manuals don't have anything that talks about Coriolis effect, so they don't compensate for it. And so basically, if they're not compensating for it, then it doesn't exist, right? I mean, I know the Coriolis effect does exist. It's a real phenomenon, but not on the Earth. It doesn't exist on the Earth. And so that just proves that the Earth is not moving, it's stationary. Number 4 is Army equation. This is another Army document showing the flat Earth. It just saw a trajectory for spinning projectiles. And let's see, number 5 is the Denal range. It's some mountain peaks. The distances between there's 3 mountain peaks, and there's distances between 100 miles in between. That shows no curvature. The link has the picture on it right there where it shows no curvature. And then if we go to the next one, the Bolivia salt mines, which is 4,086 square miles end to end. It's 80 miles, and there's less than 3 feet of deviation from there's only 3 feet of difference between the height and altitude, and that's in Bolivia. And then we got the Suez Canal, which is 120 miles long, and it has no locks, meaning that the water is straight and flat and level. There's no locks, so basically it's flat and level. So they're not having locks. They're not compensating for any curvature. It's just straight flat. And then we talk about plane surveyors never have to take into account for any curvature. Then we got the Baumgartner jump, which is 128,000 feet. Proves the stationary Earth since he jumped over New Mexico. When he started in New Mexico and landed in New Mexico, so there was no movement. I mean, he should have landed somewhere else, maybe in the ocean, or I don't know exactly where he should have landed if it was moving, but that's what that is. And then if you want to get into gravity later, but that's something else. I was just working on that. But that's everything that I got.
Okay. Did you want to talk about your points with gravity right there?
Yeah, we can if we get into it more, but I just want to address the first part first.
Sure. Okay.
Right. Okay. Goodness me, where to start? Well, first off, the statement that to understand the Earth, looking at the things in the sky has no relation as to the shape of the Earth, I would completely disagree with that, because what happens in the sky and around us can tell us a lot about where we are and what's going on. To use a simple analogy, my friend Planner Walk gave the example as, you want to have a look at the shape of the room you're in, but you can't really tell because all your furniture is in the way. Best way to tell the shape of your room is to look at your ceiling. Right? That will give you more of an indication of what shape of a room you're in. And you can apply that to the movement of the celestial bodies. You can have a look at the movement in the celestial bodies throughout the sky, throughout the year, see how they move, and it's perfectly explained by the heliocentric model. North Star with trails going around it, it's perfectly explainable because we are spinning and our axis aligns with the North Star, which is moving throughout the galaxy with us. Same thing happens in the southern hemisphere around Sigma Octantis. First of all, yeah, I would completely contest that statement of understand that the sky doesn't show us what shape of the world we're on. So there's that. They're saying that there's never been a detectable curvature or a measured curvature. I again would very much disagree with that statement. Geographic measured one himself, but ignoring the mistakes of Flat Earth Core, many photos recently have been taken that are completely impossible on a flat Earth, including the observations of Terraform Law in Scotland by Miles Davis, the observations that Conspiracy Cats talked about with Mount Rainier, and there's many, many more. These all show that there is observable and measurable curvature because you can see the distances and the heights of things, and the photos prove that that can't happen on a flat Earth. Water doesn't curve. I would very much disagree with that, but my explanation for that comes down to gravity, so we can get into that later. Again, the no experiment that shows that we're moving, every single mechanical gyroscope that is accurate enough shows a 15 degree per hour shift, which correlates with reality of 24 hours a day. The microwave tower transmissions that you were talking about, you probably need to do the math on the height of the towers, which are well over 200 foot, and the distances were completely explainable that you would be able to see these things. The mirror refraction tests were completely explainable, again, on our model, understanding how refraction works. I suppose the question I have to ask you is, do you think that refraction is a thing?
Yeah, refraction is a thing. I mean, but I mean, as far as the you can't get refraction off a mirror, off of looking at to view a mirror from one side of the what is it, the area of the water. I mean, you're not gonna be able to see a mirror. It is the light that bends. But you can't see that's not a light.
Right. Okay.
Guys, isn't the most common form of light refraction down? Like, what are you pretending that light refraction is anything?
Light refraction, light refracts down, which makes things appear higher than they are. So that is the most common form, but not the only way refraction can happen.
If it's refracting down, pushing things behind the curvature, fight the flat Earth.
No, if light refracts down, it will make things appear higher. If the light's refracting down, it's going to make the things that you're looking at appear higher than they are.
That's your argument, is that the air is causing things to appear above the curvature?
No, that's not my argument. I'm just explaining how refraction works.
I know how refraction works.
I've never seen anything come above a horizon because of refraction, and I've been running a flat Earth group for 3 years. Refraction pulls things behind the curvature. That's why you can't see the bottoms of buildings. It's not curvature. So if you're going to sit there and say refraction is why you can see a mirror 13 miles away when they're standing on the shoreline of one side of the lake, looking at a mirror on the shoreline of another side of the lake, dude, you're delusional.
No, I'm explaining to you how refraction works. That's all. When refraction makes light bend down, which makes things appear higher than they are.
if they're bending down, why would they come up? They're bending down. You're not making any sense, dude.
Right, think about how the light would interact with the atmosphere when it is going through.
Let's say they go, but come up. You can't say that. If they go down, they go down.
Okay.
That's not up.
Hold on. Look, listen. If Nathan, if you are going to ask Fight the Flat Earth a question, you have got to let him answer instead of just continuously talking, okay?
Yeah. I got you. I didn't know what my role is.
I understand what you're thinking, Nathan, but you're thinking the wrong way round. The refract is causing the light to bend down, which is making things appear higher because it's bringing it above where it should be. Does that?
Okay,
do you not understand? It's a simple.
Got it. All the listeners just heard you say it bends down but comes up, and they're all going to be like, "Wow, that sounds really stupid. I should look into that some more." So go ahead, continue.
Okay, it's cool. It's you know, I understand how refraction works, but you know. But anyway, you know, so you know, you can't deny that refraction exists, and it can make things appear higher than they are, because that's how light interacts with when you have a denser medium. So
okay,
when you look at the
but basically saying you can't pull it over a curvature. If you can't see it, then how are you pulling it over? You can't see it in the first place, but you're saying that you could see it because it's pulling behind over the curvature. You're like pulling something behind something that's hidden.
I'm not saying it's pulling it over the curvature. It is literally bending the light and making it appear higher than it actually is. You're not. It's not bringing it over the curvature. You are just seeing the bending of the light. You know, if you were talking about the observation of the Chicago skyline, you know, if it was a flat Earth, then that should be seen all the time. The fact that that was an observation that you only get once in a while.
No, it shouldn't. I mean, different weather conditions. Every day there's different weather conditions. They're not all the same weather conditions every day.
Exactly my point. But on a flat Earth, you would be able to see it all the time.
No, you wouldn't. There's atmospheric conditions. Every day is different. That day was just a good day that they were able to see it. But there's weather conditions that happen all the time. I mean, they're different all the time, especially over that lake. That lake gets cold, and you know there's different temperatures throughout the year. And what I mean, what you're talking about is shouldn't even happen when it's cold. It happens when it's hot. But in any case,
well,
but there's different weather conditions. It's not all.
It's refraction happens when water tends to have a colder, denser layer above it. Right,
that's the ideal time when refraction happens.
Yeah, I mean, we both agree that observation only happened under ideal conditions, right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, because the weather was clear, they were able to see it.
So the question is, which way is the light refracting? And the consensus of science and physics says that it will bring what is behind the curve up because of the way that the light is bending down, and you see something behind the curve more.
You said the consensus of science. I mean, even in experiments that doesn't happen. We say the consensus of science. Where's that at?
Right, let me give me 1 sec. So,
a drawing's not going to say consensus of science. I mean,
okay,
guys, when I was at the salt experiment with Geographic, there were islands on the other side of the lake that were disappearing throughout the day because there was more aqueous particles going into the atmosphere that were distorting our ability to see across. And so how come if refraction brings things above the curvature, when there's more water in the air, it's harder to see? Wouldn't it be easier to see things behind the curvature if there's more air, more water in the air, not harder to see?
No, it's literally the other way around.
I've ever seen is when there are aqueous particles in the air, things disappear behind the curve faster. They do not reappear faster.
What do you mean they disappear faster, but they don't reappear faster? What are you talking about there?
What I'm saying that there's an illusion of curvature caused by the air. So when the air is more dense, there's more aqueous particles in the air. One, it's harder to see through. There's more fog and dust and mist in the air. But two, there's a greater amount of refraction taking place. So like I have pictures of buildings on the other side of lakes when it's crystal clear, and then when there's lots of air particles in the air, you can't even see the buildings. So if refraction's causing buildings to come above the curve, then how come when there's lots of refraction, the buildings disappear?
When there's lots of refraction, the buildings...
Atmospheric conditions aren't always the same. So when there's zero refraction...
Yeah, of course atmospheric conditions aren't always the same. And so how would you determine when there is zero refraction?
Well, when the air is really dry and it's the end on the other side is getting distorted.
And when you do observations when there's zero refraction, everything that's ever done is comported with the fact that we live on a globe with a circumference of 25,000 miles in circumference.
No,
like, have you seen the observations from Miles Davis? Have you seen the observations from Miles Davis in Scotland?
I haven't looked at Miles Davis. I haven't looked at Miles Davis. I listed about 10 or 15. I don't know how many I listed right there, but I listed a bunch of them that some of them not even having to do with atmospheric refraction. Like you said the mic, like about something about the microwave that would you say something about that we're able to see, but that's not the point. The point is the connection between the two antennas. And I mean, if you even go onto the MetaBook site, they tried to debunk it and they couldn't. There's a long thread right there, them talking and trying to go over it, and the final thing they say is oh well it has to be round, but we just know what's going on here. I mean they tried to debunk it for days. They were trying to debunk it, they never debunked it.
Right. Well, I haven't been on that thread. I wouldn't know about it, but every single like for instance, Eric debates 200 proofs, right, of all those lighthouses and stuff. Right, every single
I'm not
one
talking
of
about
those.
Lighthouses. I'm talking about what I listed here. These are the ones that I know about.
I'm just using as an example that when the maths is done properly and the information is put correctly into the curve calculator, then it always comports with the reality that we live on a globe. You might have to get into how you use the curve calculator correctly, which would be a thing. I mean, all of the things that you've given me are basically, oh, I can see this thing, I can see that thing, I can see this thing, I can see that thing.
Well,
that's
what I'm saying.
Frankly, but all of these things have been simply debunked already. That there is literally.
I just gave you one right now that hasn't been debunked. The MetaBook site. Well, they tried to debunk it, but they never did. I mean, and that's all we need. Like you talked about celestial bodies and all that stuff. That tells you what we are. That's the place that we live on, but it doesn't tell us what we live on. The observations tell us that it's not.
Sorry, which one was it? So I would need to do my own research on that particular thing, because I can guarantee you it would have been debunked. So what was it?
I'm talking about the microwave that's right there in the Mediterranean.
The microwave tower transmissions.
Yes.
Yeah. So how tall were those towers?
What I remember, there were 50. I can't remember.
Nope, they were 220 feet.
Yeah, but the point is not how high they were. The fact is that they were able to get that connection. There would be curvature that
high they were. They were able to see it. They were 220 feet. And again, this is one that has been debunked. They were 220 feet. That's where the transmissions were coming from, and it was able to see the other towers that were in alignment with it. This is not difficult things, David. These are all things that have been simply debunked. And it's all what's the word I'm looking for? It's all anecdotal stuff about pictures that have all been debunked already. It's simply 20 seconds of searching for the mirror of refraction. I can tell you Greater Sapien has debunked the mirror refraction thing. The Chicago skyline goddess engineers debunked that, and pretty much. The microwave tower transmissions has been done on many different channels. These are all things that you could have just looked up. And if you want to talk about all the military documents, the one thing that we can say about them is that you haven't read the entire documents. The entire document, because they do not say.
I read the
no, you haven't. Well, then if you've read the entire documents, you would know that they are in no way talking about a flat Earth. They are using a stationary reference frame to do basic calculations, but the rest of the document makes it quite clear that all the technology works on a globe. I mean, you actually need to read the entire thing and not just the cherry-picked parts.
All right, hold on. I want to get back. I want to get back to the microwave thing. So you said it was like 200, like it was 200 and something. I don't know, high. But we're looking at, they were only 50 feet high up. They said, okay, it was mounted up only 50 feet above sea level. That was it. There's nothing more than that.
All right, can you send me that then? Because that's not the one that I've seen.
Yeah, the link.
But
the link
either way,
I don't know if you can get it or not.
400 miles, shouldn't there be 7,000 feet of curvature? Like, why does it matter if they're 100 feet or 200 feet tall? Shouldn't there be like 7,000 feet of curvature in between the towers? Why are we arguing if it's
the way that the transmissions work is completely comports with reality. I would need for you to show me the maths showing what height they are, how far away they are, and why it doesn't work on a globe. Because you would need to also explain how microwave transmissions actually work, so that you would understand how that
basically, I already told you that there would be curvature in the way. I mean, I already said that. That's why I used it as one of my proofs, not a Joe proof.
But when you actually look into it, it proves the globe. Is my point. Let me just. If you look at the whole thread, when they're trying to debunk it, the last thing they say is, oh well, I don't know what's going on, but it has to be a ball. Something has to be wrong here. That's what they say. But I mean, they didn't give you no explanation. I mean, I'll just literally search here and see what comes up. 146 mile transmission. Oh, no, you say Metabunk haven't got it, but there's literally, I've just gone on to Metabunk and they're all showing that they.
And if you read the whole thing, they're trying to figure out how they're trying to say maybe it's higher because the altitude was higher or whatever, like because it's a rocky beach wherever those towers are, and they're trying to say that it's not 50 feet above sea level, it's higher, but they never get that information. It's 50 feet above, that's what it is, and they're trying to figure out what if they're trying to say it's higher but it's not, and they go through the whole thing. If you read the whole thing, they're trying to figure out what's going on, but there's nothing that's wrong with it.
Well, there's also no information of where they got the details of it being 50 feet high, as far as I can see.
From the website, from the company website, it's exalt.com.
Let me see. Microwave link. I'm just reading the article now. One sec. Our deployment uses just one radio each end of the link, and we link over water, which creates significant transmission problems for ordinary microwave radios. They're designed to significantly reduce required antenna diameter, featuring industry-only field replaceable diplexers, Explorer systems, offer dynamic TCO. Okay, so actually, when you go into the link and look at, there's an article about Yahoo Finance that then has sources that link to the information about the construction of them, and it explains that the record is completely expected and explained on a flat Earth, and that's just like with some basic research. This particular thing, I would have to research more into it and do my own math, but you can't use this. David, like I said, that was just literally 1-2 minutes of me searching and looking for an answer, and I'm pretty sure I've just found it. But I would have to do my own investigation and math on that. But from what I've seen, you can't use that as a proof because there's no definitive answer of the height of what was happening and everything like that. So all the links
right there that there's 50 feet high, but you're trying to look for something more than what's there. Like you're trying to look for more. You're just trying to grasp straws at it. I mean, it tells you everything right there. I mean, you can look at it all you want.
But again, I would have to do my own investigation into that whole thing. But from what I literally just searching it for 20 seconds, there was 5, 6, 7 pages that say that it was debunked. So
what say debunked? It goes along with the globe. I mean, but that's what y'all say. That's what y'all. Everybody says that. Like that's like all they're doing is playing mind fucks with everybody.
Yeah, but when reality comports with. Sorry, seems to drop out there. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I mean, looking,
that's
going
the
on.
whole game that they do. That's part of the deception. I mean, they're gonna say things with their words, but the reality is different with what they say.
You say it's part of the deception, but actually, I'm reading it now, David, and it literally explains everything and how it comports with reality. All right.
Yeah, flat Earth reality. It does. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Okay, all right. I will say that, yes, you're right. They were. So I'm going to have to look into this completely to get a definitive answer. But as far as I can see, it is answered.
We can take that, and I'll definitely give you time to look at it. I mean, you can give all the time in the world because there's nothing to find different. But then we could go to another thing. But we can talk about the Bolivian salt flats where they actually use to measure measure the altitude. They use satellites, and I mean, I think satellites are different than what you think. But I know there's something in the air. I don't know what it is, but there is something out there. But they're supposed to calibrate their measurements for the satellite, and it tells you right there how big, how long they are, how big they are, and it's only a 3 feet difference between in altitude from the Bolivian salt flats. And it's like 80 miles right. from one end, from the distance wise, it's 80 miles. I mean, it's a total of 4,000 square feet. But
let me ask you this:
go ahead.
Does land have contours?
I'm sorry.
Does land have contours? Does land have contours?
What do you mean by that?
Is there the land isn't always going to follow the curvature of the Earth because land has contours. It has bits that go up and bits that go down.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know what you're getting at with the Bolivian salt flats when it's on land.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, basically
land
what I'm
has
saying,
contours.
There's no curvature, there's examples like this all throughout the whole world. I mean, there's no. We don't see any curvature. I mean, according to you, you said there's measured curvature. If there is, then show me some measurements.
With the Miles Davis observations, there's plenty of measurements in that. Measurements that show the distance away that things are and how high they are. I mean,
you have one observation with Miles Davis guy. I don't even know what I haven't seen, so I can't tell you. Well, you have one
many
like a few that I've listed.
I said I don't have one. I have many. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but recently on YouTube within the debunking community, there's been a whole bunch of videos with photos and videos of things that would be impossible on a flat Earth. Like the Mount Rainier observations showing the angular size of Mount Rainier being impossible on a flat Earth. All the observations made by Miles Davis and many more. All the there was another channel I was thinking that was doing some. But, there's been people going out to get these observations to try and find these things. So you say there isn't measurable, observable curvature. Yes, there is, and it's been found in the recent months and posted all over YouTube with easily verifiable.
Show me these measurements.
Sorry.
I said you shouldn't have a problem showing these measurements. If there is, where's the measurements at?
Okay, well, or you, if you could go to Miles Davis's channel, Kyle. Mm-hmm. Would you be able to do that for me? Just bring up Miles Davis's channel and we're showing the measurements.
Give me just a second. Y'all can continue while I do this. It's gonna take me just a second.
Yeah. So I mean, this constant thing of there isn't a measurable curvature. Well, when there is, I mean, about the tests that Jeranism did, right? With flat Earth core.
Yeah, man, come on, man. You know that was straight BS, man. He didn't. You're trying to say that he proved curvature with the. You're talking about that light that he seen through the hole, right?
Aye.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? The light.
Yeah.
I mean, there was pieces cut out of that thing, man. That wasn't even that was whoever made that was lying, was clearly deceiving you guys. That's what I'm talking about. There's the deception. That video was clearly deceived. You're being deceived.
So your only answer there is it's a deception.
Yeah, because that's not what happened. You cut out, there was pieces that were cut out.
So yeah, if you go down in his videos. I'll tell you the name of the video. 2 secs.
Guys, if Jaron proved curvature, you wouldn't be a flat earther anymore.
1 second, Nathan.
Oh, well, Randy
we'll
Flat Earther proves
in just a
curvature all the
second.
time, and he keeps proving it.
Get through this flat so that I can put. I don't have enough like spaces, so this is taking Nathan's spot. So I don't know if they can hear him or not.
Yeah, I can hear Nathan.
Okay.
Right, I just get you the name of the video. It's a bit far back. It's about 2 months ago, and it's called Flat Earth Destroyed with One Photograph.
Flat Earth destroyed with one. Okay. Oh no, not an ad. Okay, where at in this video do you want me to go?
Right, I'm just going to get you the tag now.
And we see, and then they've asked the question, 4 times, confirming what we know about their heights.
We're looking for the math. So
Yeah,
the
it's all in
math
here.
is-
Right, if you go to 2145.
Okay.
They don't agree
Right.
perfectly.
Right, basically,
But
what you're
hang
seeing
on.
here.
Before all you flat earthers start to wet yourselves with excitement, there is something else to take into account. I used Walter Bislin's curvature calculator in my original analysis of my photograph and video. Rather than using the method that they've used, I used Walter's calculator because it too takes into account angular size.
Well, sorry, could you just
The
take
angular
it to
size for
5 minutes 22 and just pause it there?
522.
Yeah. Right. So this image is basically what I was talking about, and it's verifiable by anyone. You can do the maths with the curve calculator. It's all been done further on in the videos. You can verify yourself. But what you're saying is the camera height was at 210 meters. And by the way, these bridges are literally just down the road from me, so I know they exist. The top of the bridge post in the middle is also at 210 meters, but the hills behind it are 500 meters. This is all above sea levels. So 210 meters above sea level, yet the things behind it are 500 meters above sea level. So that there is observable, measurable curvature of the Earth.
That's just perspective. The mountains are farther away.
Nathan, what's the law of perspective? Can you tell me it mathematically?
What was that?
Can you tell me the mathematical law of perspective?
Dude, all I'm saying is you can stand under a street light and at sunset.
No,
the
that's not
sun's
what I
gonna be
asked,
lower
Nathan.
than the
I asked if you've said perspective, so I'd like you to tell me what perspective is. What is the mathematical law of perspective?
I don't need to give you any numbers. I can tell you that this is how perspective works.
With respect, you asked me for math. You said, "Where's the math?" And now I'm asking you for the same courtesy.
Is the mountain higher or lower than the bridge, so that proves curvature? Dude, the sun sets below that bridge. That does not prove the sun goes below the bridge at all. It's a straw man argument. You have no argument at all whatsoever, dude.
No, I absolutely do, because the hills behind, which are over 200 meters taller, were below that thing. And the only explanation for that is that they are behind a curve.
The sun is below that bridge. The sun is below the bridge.
The sun is 93 million miles away. That's different. So, and, you know...
That's so funny. So when an airplane goes
again, you said perspective, Nathan, but you haven't told me what perspective is.
Hold on. I have to ask a question. Is Nathan here to moderate or debate? I just need to know.
Well, I don't think he knows.
I just need to know.
Let him debate. Why not?
Wait,
I mean, if he wants to debate me, I will take them both on.
Let's have some fun.
I mean, I just want to make sure he's not lying to your audience. Because...
Well, I'm not lying to my audience, because you know what I can do is I can tell the audience the mathematical law of perspective. You said it's perspective. So Nathan, tell me what perspective is, please. Because I can tell you with math. Can you when we went into the photo, you went, oh, I want to see the math. I showed you the math. So now I'd like you to do me the courtesy of telling me the math of perspective. No? Do you want me to do it for you? It's alpha equals 2 arc tan times g over 2r, where alpha is the angular size of the object, g is the actual size of the object, and r is the distance to the object. Using this formula, you can calculate exactly how big things should be based on how far away they are. That is the law of perspective, not whatever you're talking about. I think he's gone away.
Let me see.
So what were we saying about that? What was that formula for?
That's the law of angular perspective. It's alpha equals 2 arc tan times g over 2r, where a is the angular size of the object, g is the actual size of the object, and r is the distance to the object. You can use that formula to calculate how big things should be based on how far away they are. That's what.
Yeah, but that's all okay. I mean that might be general, but there's a lot of variables in there when you're looking at for perspective. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that would distract. I mean, distort it because there's so many variables. I mean, you don't like I said. There's atmospheric conditions that get in the way. There's a lot of different things. I mean that might be a general, but that's not. You said it's like 100% accurate. That's not 100% accurate.
He was 210 meters above sea level. There's not really going to be that much refraction bothering it up there. And when you run it through and when you do the calculations based on how far away those hills are and the distance it appeared to be below the bridge in that photograph, it comports exactly with the globe. Now, are you going to tell me that's just a coincidence?
No, I mean, come on, the globe measurements. You guys, what do you say? You guys been knowing the globe for like 2,000 years? Was the number? You guys been having 2,000 years to work out these formulas. It better be right. Shit.
Well, that's how science works,
David.
You
have 2,000 years to get it right, and damn, you better get it right.
Okay, yeah, but how long have computers been around? How long has technology like this been around? How long has the ability to accurately measure and do these things?
People have been doing math way before computers. Yeah, I mean that doesn't mean anything.
Before computers, we couldn't figure things out as well as we do now. We now have the technology and the ability to accurately measure these things. And you can't tell me that there is over 200 meters of that mountain just missing for no reason. All right?
I didn't say it was missing. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't want to show you a picture, but
like you can. I'd love for you to watch that entire thing. I am going to do my research into this microwave tower thing because, as an intellectually honest, person with a critical mind, that's what I want to do. I want to understand why the flat earthers think this is a proof, and I promise you, I will get back to you with an answer about the microwave tower. But in the same way, you have to be able to do the same. And you would need to go and look at that entire video in which he explains the distances on Google Maps. He shows it in a model that would be what flat Earth and globe Earth is. He does all the explanations as to why the mountains appear like that. And it all comports with the reality that we live on the globe. And it can't just be a coincidence that it works every time.
I didn't say it was a coincidence. I mean, I'll get the measurements and look at it. I'm not going to look at the video. I'll just get the facts from it. But I mean, you guys spread a lot of part in the first place. I mean, I'll get the facts from it and take a look at it.
Okay. Well, you know, that does cover flat Earth, right? I'd like to move away from refraction and stuff and distances, and because there's obviously a disconnect in understanding what perspective and refraction is. So can we take this back to a couple of more basic things? And let me ask you 2 questions, all right? Do you agree that there is a pressure gradient in our atmosphere going less dense as you get up?
That going less? Is that what you said?
Yeah. So the higher up you go, the less dense the atmosphere is. Yeah. Do you agree with that? Yeah.
Yep.
Is there a downward accelerating force of 9.8 meters per second squared?
A downward what force?
Do things fall at 9.8 meters per second squared?
Yeah, that's what it's the acceleration.
Yeah. Right. So it's acceleration. You're agreeing it's acceleration, right? When things fall down, they're accelerating. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's not.
Okay. One more question. One more question. Does acceleration require a force?
Force, yes. Pressure. That force right there, what you're specifically talking about, is from pressure.
Right. So so you're going with the buoyancy density argument for replacement of gravity with things falling, yeah?
That's part of it. That's part of the whole thing that's going on, but it's not the whole thing.
Okay. Well, what else is it apart from density and buoyancy, according to you? Just quickly, I mean, I can debunk the whole density buoyancy thing in about 30 seconds, but what else is it?
Well, if you the density and buoyancy, how are you going to debunk it? Those are facts, truths. I mean, it's scientifically proven. You can't debunk density. But how are you going to debunk density?
100%. Right. Okay. Here we go. Goddess Engineer, you've seen this one, haven't you? You've seen me do this before. Right. David, look at this book, right? Right. So when I let go of this book,
you're saying, but you're saying you're going to debunk density. I mean, I know what you're going to do. You're going to say about
I can debunk density being the reason for things falling.
You said you're going to be debunk density and buoyancy. That's not. I mean, I'm telling you that what you think gravity is not what you think it is. I mean, there's no mass attracting mass anywhere.
Well, the Cavendish experiment proves that, and I've done the Cavendish experiment myself.
Come on, the Cavendish experiment. You're talking about lead balls that they were looking at through a peephole. And they had to. I mean, there's so many variables. There's so many things that are wrong with that. Even the constant G that they got from the Cavendish experiment is not the same constant G that they have today.
Yeah, but that's again how science works. You improve on things. The Cavendish experiment
has not been so constant. Come on.
Wait. The Cavendish experiment hasn't just been done once and forgotten about. Cavendish experiment is repeated more and more and more. It's repeated with more accuracy.
It's never the same. I gotta tell you something. Why do they keep on trying for something that over and over and it's never the same?
They are
hold on, guys. Nathan's trying to say something. Sorry, Nathan's trying to say something.
That Cavendish experiment you repeated.
No.
Okay, never mind.
Sorry, where were we?
There's so many things that are wrong with the Cavendish experiment. I mean, the whole idea was they're supposed to eliminate all the other things that are going, all the variables, and saying that gravity was the only thing that was affecting these lead balls. But that's impossible. That's impossible to do. You're saying that what they're trying to picture is a lead ball like floating because there's no other forces around it. I mean that's a bunch of crap.
Don't think you really understand what the Cavendish experiment is.
Well, I understand what it is. I understand completely what it is.
You know that you can literally do this yourself, right? You can literally
do it yourself, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. The Cavendish experiment is not gravity.
Yes, it is. It shows that there's mass attracting mass. That's the purpose of the Cavendish experiment. And that's how science works. Once you have a theory and a hypothesis, you experiment to test it. And to test the theory of mass attracting mass, tell you the Cavendish experiment. Well, Nathan, I'm pretty sure that you can search and show the experiment yourself. You want me to show it to you right now whilst I'm sitting here? Don't be a fool.
No, I want you did it.
Nathan,
you
when you
did it.
Nathan, yeah, I've done a degree in physics. I've done many things. I've served on a submarine. I don't have that in my house with me.
You don't have proof, right? You just got empty claims.
No,
So you said
I'm not the only one that's done the Cavendish experiment, Nathan.
I can show
I can't show it to you right now
because
because I don't have it in my house.
Yours. Okay, all right, yeah, you
Nathan,
didn't video it. All right, how convenient. How convenient. You didn't
Nathan,
record it. All right, cool. So we're supposed to just believe you because you got a degree that you did it. Like,
Are you in
Nathan,
Dale's
are
shed?
you going to shut up so I can respond to you?
You're in Dale's shed, aren't you?
Nathan, this is not your echo chamber, so don't treat it like one, okay? Right.
So,
Nathan, shut up and let me speak. Nathan, shut up. All right? I have not photographed every moment of my entire life. And if you must know, in the past 2 years, I've moved house 3 times, okay? Of course, not everything with me. I did the Cavendish experiment many years ago, but you know what? You can go and literally on Amazon and buy your own Cavendish experiment and do it yourself. And you know what? Actually, so part of my channel is something I'm going to be doing as well.
Look at your proof.
Right, let me ask. Right, Nathan, can I ask you a question? Right, Nathan, let me ask you a question. Right?
Why are you on a potato? That's the number one question.
Yeah, why are you recording on a potato? But also, because I can't show you something right now that somebody else has done, does that mean it isn't real?
No.
Because I don't have with me right now. Yes, I've done the Cavendish experiment more than once. But do you think I have it in my house?
Cool.
I served on, Nathan, I served on a submarine for many years. But can I show you that right now? You sound like a mental person.
Somebody didn't pull up.
Kyle, can you just mute him because he's just kind of like in and out babbling, really.
Sure.
Right. Anyway,
did you work on a submarine? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I was a nuclear submariner for many years, and I can tell you for a fact that they're navigating.
I just have a question. I just have a question about that. Yeah. Like you know, I appreciate all your work that you did, but in a submarine, do you believe the ISS is up there, up in the sky? That people are inside there, living inside the ISS?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know all the pressure that's involved in space. It's completely the opposite of a submarine. I mean, but they have nothing like a submarine is protected from the pressure that it has, but it should be equivalent to the ISS, but it's not. I mean, that's a bunch of crap, man. That somebody's living out in space like that.
Sorry, what's your point there? Because
I'm just saying that the way the ISS is supposedly built out there, it doesn't make sense that somebody's living in there, that's floating out in the sky out there, and they're living in there, because the way that thing is built, it should be somewhat equivalent to a submarine, the way the submarine's built, as far as the you know, as far as handling the pressure.
Hold on, just so that we're all on the same page here. Hold on, just so that we're all on the same page here. You're saying that the ISS should be built to withstand the same pressures as a submarine? Like, do you think that?
Well, it's different. Like, I know it's different. It's opposite. It's the opposite. You know, the pressure underwater is the opposite when you're in a vacuum. I understand that, but when I'm talking about the way it's built, it should be somewhat equivalent to the submarine. It's.
You mean like? Let me explain to you why that's wrong there, because the difference between, like, on level here, where we are right now, we're at 1 atmosphere, okay? Where the ISS is, it's at 0 atmosphere. That's a difference of 14 psi, right? When I was in a submarine, go down to 2, 3, 4 atmospheres. they're built to withstand that because they have pressure from the inside and everything. Whereas the ISS, it doesn't have pressure pushing in it from the outside. It has a pressurized environment inside.
Right.
Sorry.
Right, but
so there's,
I understand. I understand
no
what you're saying.
ISS.
I understand what you're saying. But it should be built equivalent because of the pressure that I understand what you're saying. It's the opposite because you're going deeper compared to going up. But what I'm saying is the way it's built, it should be equivalent to the submarine. But it should withstand something like it should be like. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't understand what you mean by equivalent to a submarine.
Not the way it's built, because it should withstand.
Well, it is built to withstand stuff. It's built to maintain a pressurized environment.
Here on Earth is
Nathan, until you can get off your potato, shut your mouth. It is built to, to maintain an internal atmosphere. I suppose in a way you could say it's equivalent to a submarine in that it's built to do its job.
But it's not, though.
Does that make
sense? That's what I'm getting at. The way it's built, it's not.
Okay, so how do you mean?
Okay, explain that.
Sorry, go on. Gee,
I was just asking, explain exactly why it's not built to hold a pressure. Like, I think that's what Fight the Flat Earth was in the process of asking, as I was asking it too. I just want you to explain to me exactly what part of the construction of the ISS prevents it from holding a contained atmosphere of let's say sea level 30 psi or whatever.
I understand. From what I've seen, the doors, they're real flimsy. I mean, they're not even. It's not even metal. I mean, I don't know if it's metal or not. It looks like aluminum or something, but they're real flimsy. I mean, where they go in and out when they're going out to do spacewalks and stuff like that.
So
hold on.
Right. So,
did you literally just say they're not metal, but I don't know what they're made out of? They're probably not metal. Is that?
Yeah, because I don't know what they are. I'm visually looking at it. I can't tell you. I can't physically because I haven't felt it. I haven't seen it up close. I don't know what it is exactly made out of.
David, the problem is what you're saying here is I don't know what it is, but it's not that.
Well, because I mean, it should be solid. It should be solid, but it's not solid. It looks like it moves like a flag.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. It should be different. I mean, it's not I was comparing the Tesla, but I just wanted to bring it up because what I've seen, it just doesn't really make any sense. Especially okay, tell me this, when when they supposedly they got hit with something and they had a little hole, and I mean that should have destroyed the ISS. That little hole should have turned into something bigger. It's the same thing as happens. That's why the pressure in the airplane.
You don't think that they were maybe designed to deal with things like that? Do you think they would put something up there? Well, again,
the hole went straight through.
You have no idea.
The hole went straight through it. The whole went straight through it.
Sorry, I've got to stop you with the ISS because you've just admitted you don't know. So, frankly, if you don't know, I don't know
exactly, but if you it doesn't make any sense.
If you don't know exactly, then I don't want to hear it. I'm sorry. And right, I just want to go back to a couple of your other points because people have actually been looking into it for me. The PR release from the microwave company for the towers, it was not a record. It was due to tropospheric ducting, which is common in the Mediterranean Sea. And actually, the details from the actual company debunk your own source. When it says that an impressive and popular range claim is 124 miles, the reader will discover that no assumptions are provided to support such claims. Such a range truly would be impressive if it did not require the use of 2,000-foot, 600-meter towers in order to clear the Earth's curvature. Assuming the small hurdle could be overcome if the radios were operating in space, for example, then many microwave radios, including Exalt radios, could communicate at this distance, assuming adequately sized antennas and no requirement for throughout or throughput availability. So it wasn't even a record or anything that you were talking about. They were literally just having a talk about what the antennas could do. So, your whole story there is completely different. It wasn't
I
a
don't
record
understand what
or
you're talking
anything.
about.
The microwave towers. It wasn't
What do
a
you mean it wasn't a
record,
record?
or I think. I could send you the links to all that I've just been given. Well, yeah. So that one gets that. It gets rid of that basically. But I want to get back to the buoyancy thing. I didn't mean I can debunk what density is.
If you click on the link I provided, the one I provided, that's what I'm talking about. It says it right there.
Yeah, I've been on that link, and then some people have done research in my Discord and actually given me the links to all the debunking for it.
So I'm more than happy to something that fits what you think, then that's true. Then not mine.
Well, where did you get the information? You got it off of where someone else had got it. There's no difference here. Somebody has found the link for me and directed me to it. This is the benefit of being part of a community. You cannot discount this information because I didn't go and find it myself. That's not how science works. Now, please, can we get back to the density and buoyancy thing?
But you're only listening to something that just aligns with what you think. I mean, we could do that all day.
I do have to interject here because you did say earlier to go to the Exalt website for the information, correct?
Right. And that's the link that I provided.
Well, that is right, but that exact site is the one that debunks your particular claim. So it's not that we're cherry picking any kind of information. We're literally reading the thing that you told us to go and look at.
And it debunks what you said.
How come you guys never read it, but I don't?
What? Sorry.
I mean, you guys have it, but I don't have it to see exactly what you're looking at.
Well, then that just shows that your research is incomplete because this has been found within the time of this debate. Right? So anyway, can we please get to the density?
I don't understand why tell us to go to an Exalt. Like, why tell us to go to the website to look at it if you yourself don't know what the website says? I mean, this is becoming a common theme because, like, with ISS,
you're reading something out, but you can't share it with me. Come on.
Right. So anyway, I've got a source. Well, sorry, you're not supposed to believe us. This is the manufacturers of the things you are talking about. This is the website of the people that make towers.
Why you get information and you can't share it with me?
Sorry?
Come on, man.
Right, anyway, look, I really want to get to the density thing. For God's sakes, please listen to me. All right, I want to talk about why things fall, because that is the crux of every issue. So please tell me, why do things fall with an acceleration of 9.8 meters per second squared? Go.
Because of density and buoyancy, but also if you look at my last screen, if you look up what we're talking about, this is what I personally believe right here. It's called the Bernoulli principle.
Right, density and buoyancy. Okay, let's talk about that for a sec. Okay, see this book, right? Are you saying that if I let go of this book, well, let me finish. All right. Are you saying that if I let go of this book, it's going to go down because the air is less dense below it?
Yep.
Is that what you're claiming? I want to clarify. Right. Okay.
Does it go down because of
why?
It? Or what? You're saying that? Why what?
I'm asking. Does it go down because the air is less dense? Is that your reason for it falling down? Yeah.
It's less. It's heavy. It's heavier, more dense than the air.
Yeah. I mean, the air is less dense than the book, right? But the air above the book is even less dense than the air below it. So why does it fall down?
That's why I said you got to refer to the Bernoulli principle. That's why I said, I just told you that. I answered your question. If you refer to the Bernoulli principle, that'll tell you exactly.
Wait. I still haven't finished. Also, if it's to do with density, as it's going down, the air is getting more dense. So it wouldn't accelerate, it would decelerate. It would do the opposite of what you were saying. It's getting into a more dense medium. It would decelerate, not accelerate. All right? I think Kyle's got an explanation of what gravity is there.
Droppity.
There we go.
Okay,
yeah.
so I understand what you're saying. I understand, but if you pay attention to what I'm saying, is that it's not only density that's in play here, and that's the whole reason why I told you. If you know what the Bernoulli principle is, I have the link to it. You can read about it, and it'll tell you exactly what's going on.
Explain it, Stephen.
I mean that's why I put it at the end, because I told you I'm barely looking into it. But from what I understand, it's the reason why for the force is because of pressure. Yeah, pressure. But if you read about it, it explains better than I could.
Okay, well, how is pressure created? On Earth, in our atmosphere, how is pressure created?
What do you mean, how is it created?
Well, if you're saying
it's
pressure
thing
is the
as
thing that's making it...
air above our head.
What's that?
Nathan, are you still there, are you? Oh. Right. I'm going to ignore Nathan because I'll get to the dome bit if we want. But again, how is the pressure created if there's nothing pulling it down? You said it's pressure. Where's the pressure coming from? There has to be a force to create the pressure. What's making all that air fall down, Nathan? Why is the air being pulled down to create pressure? Seriously, either of you. Why is the air being pulled down to create the pressure? And if you're going to go with the,
I have the answer. I have the answer, but like I said, that's what I was looking into it more. But like I said, if you're able to open up the link that I provided, it'll explain to you, help you understand it.
All right. Well, just a quick one then for Nathan, if he's still listening in. Nathan, you numbnuts. If we're in a dome, why is there a pressure gradient in our atmosphere?
And David, which link are you talking about?
My girlfriend's laughing at.
I saw the last page.
Mm-hmm. And what's the actually, David, I can't.
Yeah,
click,
didn't think so, Nathan.
I can't click your links.
Click on it twice. If you click on it twice, it'll go through.
Okay, which one was it now?
The last page.
Okay.
It's just the Bernoulli principle.
I see.
Nathan, you still there?
He's still there. He said his girlfriend was laughing at you.
Well, I'm sure she finds me hilarious.
You're sure you're not naked?
In fact, she's probably laughing. Going,
and that's what she's laughing at.
I wish I was with him instead. Again, I'd like the answer to the question of why is there a pressure gradient if we are in an enclosed dome? Nathan, anytime, mate.
I don't think he's going to answer.
No, he doesn't like questions. As we found out from his Facebook group, if someone asks him a question he doesn't like the answer, they just boot him.
Okay.
Nathan,
so
here's a tip. All right,
this.
stop spending your money on whatever drugs you're taking and buy a decent bit of technology to do these streams.
All right, so here's the Bernoulli principle.
I can't see that. It's all blurred.
What would you like for me to read, David?
It's kind of blurry, I guess.
Well, do you want me to just? It says that scientists utilize this principle to lift aircrafts against the Earth's gravity, but I am sure they don't really understand how this principle works. If they did, they would have realized a long time ago it is the same principle that underlies the mystery of gravity. This principle would have become much more.
Sorry, I can stop this all right here. Why does the Bernoulli equation? Why does the math in the Bernoulli equation use gravity as part of it?
And here's what it says.
Sorry, I didn't realize that was what we was talking about.
It says that this pressure. It says that the pressure exerted by a fluid decreases as its velocity increases. In other words, as a fluid moves faster, it exerts less pressure.
Basically, it's saying that the pressure, like if you have something, whatever's under, there's increase in pressure on top. That's why it's pushing it down.
Yeah, but if it's pushing it down, there still has to be something pulling that thing that is pushing it down. What you're talking about, the whole Bernoulli principle uses gravity as part of its fundamental basis of what's going on. Fluid density and fluid mechanics and everything, it all, this is all part of what we're talking about. You're using something to try and prove flat Earth that uses gravity. Please understand that.
I never seen the formula, but I'm just explaining what it says.
Yeah, but it utilizes gravity, right?
Where's that at?
It's the first sentence.
It's
Gravity.
part of what the Bernoulli principle is.
Yeah. He literally says right here, this principle would have become much more famous.
It says that.
David, wait, let Kyle read this section that he's reading. Go ahead, Kyle.
It says that this principle would have become much more famous than Newton's laws, and wouldn't have let Einstein's theories distort our understanding of gravity.
Right.
It's gravity is part of what you are trying to use to disprove gravity.
It doesn't. Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, gravity is not the way you think of it. Like, what you're saying is mass attracting mass. That's not what gravity is. I mean, there's some force out there. I understand that, but there's no mass attracting mass. I know that.
But you don't know that because there's experiments that prove that happens.
The Cavendish experiment? Come on, man. That's the only thing that you say, but there's nothing else proved. I mean, the Cavendish experiment is
there's nothing else mass attracts mass. How about you look at everything in the universe that proves that mass attracts mass?
Come on.
Yes.
In the universe, are you talking about the celestial bodies in the sky they were not moving right, so they had to create dark matter? Come on. They were moving right to what gravity says, so they had to invent something that they never seen before called dark matter.
Right.
By the way, David, welcome, Scotty. Welcome to the show, Scotty.
David. All right. Just before Scotty gets in, because this would be fun. You're saying that it didn't work right, so we had to invent something else. No, that's not how science works. And I've been through this before, right?
That's what they did. Exactly. That's not how science works, but that's what they did.
No.
Hey, come on. Let him finish.
An explanation and a hypothesis. Right. This is how science works. I'll break it down on a basic level for you.
I know how it works, but that's not what they did.
No, you don't. And stop interrupting me. All right. If you've got 4 lights and the lights are flashing yellow, 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 green. Yellow, 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 green. Yellow, 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 green. And that goes on for months, all right? Based on that, you can make the assumption and hypothesis that it's going to go yellow, 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 green. And you can base everything on that. But then what happens if at one point it goes yellow, 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 purple instead? That means that you have to take in new information and develop new hypotheses and theories to explain what is happening. Dark matter and everything is the current best explanation we have for what is happening in the universe. And it fits with the model that we have.
Of course, you make it fit. It made it fit.
No, not making it fit. It's the explanation of the observable universe. It's the same way as saying with Newton, he came up with gravity. No, he didn't. He noticed that things fell and wanted to try and figure out why. And that's how he developed the theory of gravitational, the theory of gravitational attraction. And that's not to say that gravity is just a theory. Gravity is a law, it's a fact. But there is the theory of gravity, which is the body of substantiating evidence that has been tested and proven scientifically. That is the theory of gravity, but gravity is not a theory.
I mean, whatever you want to call it, though. But like I said, the celestial bodies that are out there, they had to invent something because it didn't fall in line with what they were observing. That's what they did. They invented dark matter, which dark matter is not even. They can't see it, can't be proven anything about it. They just created it out of nowhere. But that's to explain. That's the only reason why they created it was to explain why what they see and what they observe, they didn't fall in line with gravity. That's what they did. You can't tell me I'm lying.
That's because that's how you observe the universe. When you see something happening, you have to come up with the best explanation for it until there's a better explanation. And We're going to bring it back to dark matter and everything. David, stop talking over me, David. When I'm talking, stop talking over me, please. We'll bring it back to the most basics. I've just shown you that the Bernoulli principle and everything needs gravity as part of its function. So we get back to the why do things fall on Earth at 9.8 meters per second squared? And Scotty, if you're here, I'd love your explanation.
Can you hear us, Scotty? I see that you're in the call, but I'm not getting any audio from you.
Scotty.
Okay, y'all go ahead.
I mean, there's it's not gravity, but there's another explanation. Where they all say it could be dielectric magnetism, but like I said, I'm not too familiar with all of the gravity stuff. So I mean, that's I'm just giving you my idea of what I think. Because I know it can be. What's that?
Sorry, it's dielectric magnetism. Yeah, that is a thing, but from my research into it, the only time it's been successfully done, they had to use as much energy as like an entire city block to just be able to make one frog levitate, and it wasn't in a nice smooth fashion. This frog was spinning around at about 25,000 RPM or whatever. Dielectric magnetism is not something that can explain gravity. That's not how it works. Like, you can't just... I mean, because I've just told you how it works. The amount of energy required to do what you are saying it would do for gravity is... You'd have to tell me where the energy came from.
I mean, they explain dielectric magnetism as a weak force, the same way they explain gravity supposedly is.
No, you're misunderstanding. No, dielectric magnetism is not the same as the weak magnetism. No, you're not saying what you say. You're trying to compare that big thing to the weak magnetic, the force of the universe. David, you don't have the basic understanding here. I'm still waiting for an explanation of why things fall.
But I'll still argue with you.
So even though you don't have any of the knowledge, you want to argue with me. This is what we've done on Facebook.
Because the mass attracting mass, that doesn't make any sense at all. There's nothing that we don't witness that. We don't see that anywhere. We don't see like maybe if I seen it, then I'll be like, oh, that gravity makes sense. But it doesn't because we can't see it. We can't prove it. There's nothing about that.
Yeah. Well, look at this mass attracting this mass. There you go. You've just seen it.
Come on. Why don't you put it from side to side? Does that work?
Well, there's a bigger mass underneath with a bigger gravitational force.
That's what that is right there.
Stuff. You said you were going to give me a challenge.
So, hold on.
You can't even explain gravity. I mean, you're trying to say, but there's mass attracting mass that doesn't happen anywhere. I mean, you're saying things that fall, but that's not what it is.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Can you prove to me that it doesn't happen anywhere? I need you right now. Give me solid proof that it does not happen anywhere.
That it doesn't happen anywhere. I would have.
Yes, you're making positive claim that mass attracting mass does not happen anywhere.
Helium balloon.
No, okay, that's explained. That's perfectly explained on the gravitational model, if you will, through buoyancy and all that other kind of stuff. Which I would love for you to explain buoyancy.
David, you promised me a challenge.
That mass attracting mass, but that doesn't happen. You want to use density and buoyancy to explain why it goes up, but you don't want to use it why it goes down.
No, it's perfectly explained for why it goes down.
David, what's the formula for buoyancy?
Come on, man! I already know that dumbass thing. Huh? But look, what I'm telling you is that why can't it work? Why can't density and buoyancy work for a helium goes up, but it can't work for it going down? For something.
It does. Right. We're telling you that it does.
But you're saying that it's gravity. It's not gravity.
For fuck's sake, will you shut up? Seriously, is this all you've got? Misunderstanding and shouting over.
Okay, hold on. Please explain to me please explain to me how exactly buoyancy works. If you can explain buoyancy, I will give you $10 right now.
I don't want you $10, but it's very easy that what density is when the mass is less it has less mass than the other mass.
Buoyancy, not density. He asked for buoyancy, not density. And actually, there's just been a good point brought up in the chat, David. Right, you want to see mass attracting mass?
I hear Scotty
Then
now.
please explain drop lines from surveyor's equipment being slightly attached to the side of mountains.
Real quick, let me do an audio check. Scotty, can you say something?
I heard there'd be free cocaine here.
Yes, there will be free cocaine. Just hold on 1 second. All right, go ahead.
I've used it all. Sorry. Right, Scotty, I've just a quick question for you. Please explain to me the second law of thermodynamics.
I'm not a trench. The second law, no idea, mate. I'm a retarded flat earther, mate. How am I supposed to know that complicated nonsense? I mean, complicated factual evidence.
Well, in your most recent videos, you've been banging on about the second law of thermodynamics and stuff. So I would just love for you to explain it to me. That's all. Imagine that I'm a stupid
mate.
here, and I honestly,
no idea, mate. I don't know what that word means, mate.
well, then, are you just going to be a dick and not actually have a conversation?
Oh, we having a conversation? Well, I've told Carl that I want to go over. I want to go over the scientific method. I want to go over the actual scientific method and see if you can improve your globe religious fantasy.
I like it. Let's do it.
Well, yeah, I've covered the scientific method.
Are you ready? No, are you ready? Okay, so are you ready? Now you can either try to prove the curve, gravity, or the movement of the Earth, not only rotating but through space with the scientific method. Pick one, because you're gonna have no chance even not only are you gonna have no chance even confirming any of them, but might as well pick one because it's gonna be pretty funny. Which one do you want to try to prove
let's
first?
go with rotation of the Earth. Let's go with rotation of the Earth. Go ahead.
Okay. What's your observed phenomenon? Your natural phenomenon, or phenomenon that are not artificial phenomenon? Any state or process known through the senses rather than by intuition or reasoning.
Okay, so that's not how the scientific method starts out.
No, that is exactly the scientific method. No. You
start out with the hypothesis. Ask us for our hypothesis. Ask us for our hypothesis.
Yeah.
Actually, your
Steve, you're going to do the scientific method. We'll do it from the beginning, please.
Well, yeah, but you need a natural phenomenon first. You need to observe something first. The scientific
method technically starts out when you state your hypothesis.
Yeah.
No, you have to. No. Well, what are you trying to prove? You need to start with your natural phenomenon. That's what you need to start off with first, well, and then you need your alternative, and then you need an alternative hypothesis.
No, that's not the scientific method. You don't have to come up with an alternative hypothesis.
That is the scientific method. What's your observed phenomenon? No, what's your natural observed phenomenon that the Earth moves? That's the scientific method. You can't jump on a hypothesis first, mate. You're saying the Earth moves. What in reality is showing that? Because we need your natural hypothesis first.
There we go. Okay,
that's the scientific method. So, that is the exact scientific method, mate.
So, hold on, Scotty, please shut up.
So yes or no?
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up right now. Okay.
So don't get triggered, mate. Calm down, buddy. Calm down, mate.
Bob from Globebusters did a ring laser gyroscope experiment that showed a 15-degree per hour turn in the Earth. So there's our experiment that proves that the Earth rotates.
No, what's your natural phenomenon, mate? Come on.
The stars in the sky moving as we expect. There's a natural phenomenon.
That's your...
The sun moving in the sky.
Okay. Now, how does the sun? Okay, beautiful, guys. Okay, now, okay, the sun's moving in the sky. Now, what's your reasoning for that the Earth's moving? Like, you observe the sun moving in the sky. You observe the stars moving in the sky. Fantastic. You've observed two things that isn't the Earth. Fantastic. You've observed two things that isn't the Earth moving. I told you, Kyle. I told you that'd fail.
No,
Science
but
101.
Scotty, those things, those examples that they give you are showing that the Earth is moving because.
No,
Yeah.
no, they're showing the
Okay,
sun's
okay, so,
moving and they're
Scotty, let
showing
me
the
ask you
stars
this.
are moving, not the Earth, Kyle, not the Earth, buddy.
Scotty, let me ask
Yeah,
you
right.
something. Scotty, can I please ask you something? Scotty,
love
let me
this show.
ask you something. Okay, so if, like, in your worldview, if the sun
Are you gonna-
is
are you gonna
at the
obfuscate us?
center,
Okay.
like, of our solar
Hold
system,
on,
would you
Scotty.
please shut the fuck up right now? If the sun is at the center, like, of our solar system, and if the Earth is rotating and the Earth is orbiting around the sun, what, in your view, would we see from Earth? Like, how do you see?
Okay,
Like,
so
I just
you're-
want to know how your brain fucking works.
So what you're starting off with assumptions. If. Now I want proof that contradicts our observable reality, because the stars are moving, yes, the sun's moving, yes, the Earth, not quite at all, mate.
Okay, Scotty.
No, actually, you're not
Scotty, how do
answering my
you-
question. You're
how do
not
you
answering my
explain-
question.
Are you gonna continue the
hold on.
scientific method, or are you just gonna
Yes,
keep failing
we are.
really
and I want
miserably?
you to answer G's question, and to kind of make things a little bit clearer for you. How do you explain that the stars move one way in the northern hemisphere and the opposite way in the southern hemisphere?
Well, you've just presupposed that there's a northern and southern hemisphere. Now, in order for there to be a northern and southern hemisphere, you have to first prove the Earth curves, and curves so much that it curves back into itself and becomes a ball. That's what you need to do
Yeah, I've
first
already
before you
done
can
that
say,
in-
oh, there's a northern and southern hemisphere.
Scotty,
I've
Okay,
already done
what's
that
your evidence
in-
for that?
Scotty,
Answer
Hang
G's question.
shut the fuck up
I've already
again.
done that in this hangout. I've literally already done it in
Scotty,
this
it's
hangout.
observable that there are different stars in one part of the world and then there are in another part of the world. Don't deflect. Just tell us why they are different.
And then we'll go to David.
You're saying that you have to prove that the Earth curves. Now, what's your natural observed phenomenon? Come on,
No,
we're using the
I
scientific
said
method here,
use
boys.
Earth
There's
curves and all
there's
that.
You guys have been
Phenomenal.
obfuscating, and you guys have been deflecting the whole
Okay, hold
time
on,
because
Scotty.
you
I'm gonna put
can't
you on hold.
use it
I'm
to
gonna put
prove
you
your
on hold.
nonsense.
Do another line. Do another line.
All right.
We'll put you on hold. David, do you have an explanation for why the stars seem to move one way in the northern hemisphere and
what was the
the
question
opposite way in
again?
another?
Well, I'm sorry, I can't really hear you. What was the question?
The stars move
Well,
in
do you
different directions.
have an explanation as to why the stars
Yeah.
move in different hemispheres, different?
directions?
So why do they rotate around the North Point and
Yeah.
the Southern Point in opposite directions?
Yeah, the North Stars, of course, they happen. They everything revolves around Polaris. But when you go out to the south, there you have that personal atmospheric dome where you're seeing the stars, but it's not. I have a better explanation with the visual. Hold on, I can't even put that up. But in any case, though, but that's what it is. It's the atmosphere. It's your personal atmospheric dome, which it shows things different than in the south. What's that?
Sorry, did you just say personal atmospheric dome? Did you actually just go with the Jeranism personal atmospheric dome? My
Does that mean
God.
like we each get one?
That's what it is. I mean, are you, that's what it is. You can see that everybody
God,
sees that.
we covered this. I've got to ask you a question. Where do we get insurance for our domes? Because I really don't want mine to smash into somebody else. Like, is there someone that covers that in case they get broken? Or
GE, do you want to ask
The
David the question that you asked Scotty?
Your brick too. You believe a bunch of crap.
Which question?
Right, wait. Before Scotty carries on, Scotty, I actually, in one of my recent shows, I covered the scientific method, and I kind of want to explain it to you because you really have no idea.
You didn't explain what feminism was. Do you know what feminism was?
Right, pay attention because the scientific method is the process by which actual science is carried out. The process involves making conjectures, deriving predictions from them as logical consequences, and then carry.
Bullshit.
Scotty, shut up when I'm talking. This is the actual scientific method, all right? And then carrying out experiments based on those predictions to determine whether the original conjecture was correct. Although the scientific method is usually presented as a fixed sequence of steps, they are better considered general principles, and not all steps are taken in every scientific endeavor, nor are they done in the same order. When forming a question in science, it can refer to specific observations. For instance, why is that ship disappearing bottom up as it moves away? Or the question can be open-ended, like, how can I design a spaceship to take humans to Mars? That's the scientific method, not whatever you're going on about.
So what's your national observed phenomenon, flat Earth? You're still going on with nonsense. You're still not actually using the scientific method, and you're still trying to. And the only reason you say, "Oh, the scientific method is different," is because you can't actually prove your religion using the scientific method. Okay. Anyway, we jump into another thing. Anyways, you're just
not listening.
You can't prove your ball Earth cartoon fantasy. You can't prove that using the scientific method. So you have to use bullshit. No, that is not. Sorry, lovely. It's not the scientific method, mate. It's not. You can guarantee you can have all the fun in the world with it, but it's not. No, I can guarantee you're talking shit.
Scotty,
mate, there's fucking shit dribbling from your mouth right now. I could smell it from here. Your mouth smells worse than my fucking asshole, mate. Sorry.
Scotty, you have got to stop at some point. Okay, Scotty? I mean, seriously, I get talking 300 words a second, but at the same time, you have got to stop at some point.
Let's go back to David. He seems like he's
Scottish engineer. Did I describe the scientific method?
No, well, yes, of course you did. Scotty just has his head up his own ass so far that he can't hear anything else other than the echoes of his own stupidity.
He is quite the phenomenon. Quite the phenomenon.
Oh, seriously.
Okay, anything else that you want to ask of David or Scotty before? I'm getting ready to let Scotty go. Anything else you want to say, Scotty, before we let Scotty go, and then we'll wrap up with David?
No, I think Scotty's bitched out.
GE? GE, anything you want to say to Scotty before we cut him loose?
You know, I really don't have anything for Scotty. I mean, every time I cover Scotty, he just hurts my head. I don't know if it's the speed at which he talks or the fact that so much stupid stuff can come out of one particular hole. It just, I don't know. I don't have anything for Scotty.
All right. Bye, phenomenon.
Yeah. Can we?
Okay. Now, Fight the Flat Earth. Right. Or actually, GE, do you have any questions for David?
Well, yeah. One in particular that I have is that how do you, starting from the basic laws of motion, how do you explain the force that is applied to everything that goes down? There's got to be an explanation for that force, and I haven't really heard a good explanation for that tonight. So if you could elaborate a little bit on the flat Earth version of whatever force is actually being applied down, because on the globe model, or gravity rather, we can mathematically calculate the force of any certain object or the force applied to any certain object. I mean, we know it so intimately that we can actually calculate the exact amount of force. So that's the kind of quality that I would love out of the flat Earth community, is some kind of mathematical description of this force that explains to me exactly how it works.
I understand exactly what you're saying, what you're asking for. And the mathematical equation, it proves there is something happening, right? There is something going on, and it's the same thing that's happening on the flat Earth. But what it's not is not mass attracting mass. It's not. That's not what it is.
Then what is attracting?
We know there's a force there, right? We know something's going on right here, but we don't I could call it whatever I want to call it. That's what you guys did, call it gravity. But gravity, with the way they explain it, is mass attracting mass. That's not what it is, because we don't see that anywhere else. I mean, you might think that's what's going on, but
everywhere else.
Right. Sorry, can I?
Right now, my face is attracted to my palm, but the force of attraction between my palm and my face is not enough to where it goes like this immediately. Right. Whereas the Earth is big enough to where it holds us onto Earth.
Okay, so like if we want to talk about the scientific method, I mean, well, gravity is not falsifiable. You can't prove it. You can't. I mean, you could. I mean, we know something's going on there, but we just don't know what's going on there.
Gravity is
mass attracting mass is
falsifiable.
not falsifiable. Mass attracting mass is not falsifiable.
Yeah, it is. If you find a certain kind of mass out there that does not attract other mass, then you falsified gravity. But you see, the problem is that we have multiple experiments that show. Huh?
Yeah, I would love to see it. I would love to see it. I haven't seen it. I mean, the Cavendish experiment is not credible at all. But where else do you see this?
Say that.
Why is it not credible? Explain to me why the Cavendish experiment is not credible.
It meets all the criteria of being a scientific experiment.
When they first did it, I mean, the measurements that they got have changed throughout the years. I mean, it's supposed to be the constant G, but it's never constant.
Right.
I mean, that number has changed. It
never
was.
David,
it never has been 9.8. It wasn't 9.8 when we got it.
David, please let me correct you there, because it hasn't changed over the years. It has got more accurate. For instance, I could say to you, pi is 3.1.
Same experiment.
Wait, please. No, I could say to you, pi is 3.1, right? And that is accurate. That's what pi is. But then I could also say to you, pi is 3.14. That is still pi, but it's more accurate.
There's a simpler question here, David.
But the numbers, the physical numbers have changed.
Right.
I mean,
David,
you're not going from like 9.2 to 9.5.
Okay. That aside, though, David, how do you explain the fact that we're able to make predictions based on gravity? That we have, there are things that we can predict using gravity in an equation that it comes to fruition exactly how we
figured out a number that made sense. But they were unable to use gravity when they were trying to predict how the celestial bodies were going, because it moved faster if it was just gravity out there. That's the whole reason what I was talking about when they had to throw in dark matter. It doesn't explain everything. It didn't explain what was going on in the sky.
In what way?
It does though.
Because okay, so when they were determining, they noticed that the celestial bodies were going faster than what it would actually be with gravity. So they had to throw in this dark matter to compensate for it, because it was going the celestial bodies were going faster than what gravity would predict.
When you say celestial bodies, what do you mean exactly?
Like I'm talking about like the planets and everything.
Okay. There's a good. Let's stop right there. So you acknowledge that other planets do exist.
No, I'm just referring it to something that you guys would understand.
Hold on.
Okay,
do you acknowledge that other planets exist or not?
Not planets, no.
Okay, so what do you, if you were to see something like Mercury or Venus, what do you think that is?
What I have visually seen is they resemble stars more than a planet. Like when they say a planet, they don't look like solid bodies out there.
Okay, let's take a step back then. Why are you saying something about the celestial bodies moving and that gravity can't explain that? Yet you don't believe in those celestial bodies, but you're willing to believe in that example.
No, because I'm explaining to you what the way your model works. Now the way that works, it doesn't even work. But I'm just trying to explain something that talking about the heliocentric model. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that I believe in these planets out there that people could go land on, because I don't think that's impossible.
Okay, so do you think they exist?
You think it's
even if they're
impossible,
stars?
but you don't have any.
You see that they're round, right? Why are they round?
Hey, David, let me tell you this, right?
See some.
Okay, so
I bought a £70
hold on.
telescope.
Why can they be round and us not be round?
Round is. I mean, you can't. If you're looking at a telescope, you can't see 3-dimensional. You can see 2-dimensional. They might be round. I mean, but I don't even think. Right? I think they're more.
It's a sphere. Like, let's say you're looking at Venus. It's a sphere, right?
You might think it is, but you can't tell from looking out from right here through a telescope. You can't tell a 3-dimensional.
Because you can see it rotate. You can watch it rotate.
You could assume that it is.
David, I bought my daughter a £70 telescope for Christmas. Not an expensive one. And you can still look at Venus and stuff with that and see that it's quite clearly a sphere.
What about the moon, David? What do you think the moon is?
the moon. It's something in the sky. I mean, it's the moon's weird, but when you look at it, it's I know it's not, I don't think it's a rock in the sky that you land on. I don't think you can land on it.
Do you acknowledge that it's a sphere? Do you acknowledge that it's a sphere?
I don't know because you can't tell from where we stand. We can look at it as a two-dimensional object. You can't see a three-dimensional object from where we're at.
Okay, so
well, hold on. So how do you explain moon phases? Please explain moon phases real quick.
Well, the moon is self-illuminated, and we know that. I mean, we prove it. I know you guys probably don't accept it, but we've proven that.
No, the moon is not self-illuminated. What evidence do you have that suggests that it's self-illuminated?
Crater disproves the fact that the moon is self-illuminating.
Why
can some of the craters be lit up partly? Why is there shadows inside the craters if the moon is self-illuminating?
Those aren't craters. Those are craters.
What are they?
Those are craters. If those are craters. Craters they land perpendicular from where we're at. That means that they will be coming from the Earth. If you look at them, they're straight up and down from where we're at.
David, when a meteorite hits the moon from space, it's traveling with such speed and energy that no matter what direction it comes in, it's going to explode and cause a massive crater that is pretty much circular. However, you can look on the moon and see many marks and scaves where meteorites have come in at lower velocities and hit the Earth and cause those gouges that you like to see.
And you're right, David.
But they aren't
to a certain
as big.
extent, it could totally be coming from the Earth when the Earth has been hit with quite a few meteors in its existence. And who's to know if the pieces from those impacts strike the moon?
Can I break? All right,
we've got to wrap up
for 1 second
because I have a shit ton of super chats, so we've got to wind this down to a close. So it's time to make any last.
David, you go first because I've got one thing to say about this, but you go first.
I mean, I'll just finish off what we were talking about. I mean, like, because you think that there's three-dimensional objects in the sky, you're automatically assuming it when you're looking at it through a telescope. But really, in reality, you can't tell if it's a third-dimensional object out there. You can't tell at all. I mean, because they put it in your mind that it is one, you automatically assume that it is one, but you can't.
We've seen the other side of it, David. David, we've seen the other side of it. There's a satellite right now behind the other side of the moon.
Are you talking about China? Are you talking about China?
Yes.
Come on, man. Have you seen that crap that they put out? Have you seen that crap that China put out on Israel?
Do you need to get that, David?
That's actually Nathan.
Nathan's not here anymore.
Oh, is Nathan still here?
No.
Yeah. No, he was calling. That's him calling.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right. I see.
All right.
Right. Is that it?
Anything else, David?
Yeah. You know what? I know a lot. Like so. First off, what I wanted to actually say just to end it is what I mentioned. See, hold on, right here. Like what they try to do. I mean, our senses are accurate. I mean, our senses keep us out from getting getting in accidents or anything like that. Our senses are really good, strong. You can't trick your senses because that I mean, like a lot of people try to say that your senses are not right because you could trick them. But the thing is that your senses are what we use to protect ourselves. That's one of the things that help us protect ourselves from anything, right? And what they try to do is try to put all this information inside your heads, and it's just a bunch of nonsense. And that's basically what it is. I mean, it's not that hard. It's really easy. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that they put out there, and in today's day and age, there's a lot of information out there that just used to distract you. A lot of information that just gets you confused, and it's really not that confusing. It's really easy. I mean, basically what it is just straight, flat plane that we live on. That's all. That's what we see. That's what we witness. That's what we know. I mean, they try to add on a bunch of other information to distract you, to confuse you. But that's what it is.
Okay. Before you go fight the fighter, G, I know you've got a jet soon. I'm gonna let you go ahead and say anything that you need to, and then you can jet out here because I do have a lot of super chats to get to, so I'm not gonna make you sit through those.
Okay, well, what I have to say is that using the basic laws of motion, gravity fits perfectly within everything that we see and everything that we experience. And the moon is not self-illuminating. There's actually no evidence to suggest this, and no cold moonlight is not a thing. And of course, when we look out into the universe and we see other spherical objects, obviously that means that our Earth is not special. Therefore, it is spherical. But we don't need that in order to prove that the Earth is spherical. But you know, there's been a lot of unfalsifiability thrown in the scientific direction tonight, but the only one here without a falsifiable narrative is David here and the flat Earth in general, because their entire idea is unfalsifiable. You cannot falsify it. You give them good information, and I know that I harp on this a lot, but this is why these kind of conversations never really go anywhere. And that's why I like to just try to figure out what they think, because to me, what they think is more hilarious than anything that I can come up with. So I appreciate tonight for the laughs, and that's all I got.
Godspeed, GE, and thank you for joining us, GE. David, if you want to, you can tell. If I don't know if Nathan has any last minute words, but he can use that same link to come back in. His reception or something died on his end, so it closed him out of the call. So you can let him know. If not, that's fine. So Fight the Flat Earth. Any last minute things before I start reading super chats? And I think there are a couple questions for David, so we'll get those out of the way.
Well, it's not really questions. It's just more observations that I didn't have the answers to everything straight away. However, with a bit of basic research, not just by me, but by other people, directing me to the correct places. It doesn't take much to find the correct information about things. The problem that I have with this whole flat Earth argument with people is that they don't really care about what the truth is. And I will give you not an excuse, but an explanation that has verifiable, testable proof behind it, and you will just dismiss it with the comment, well, it's not that. I don't know what it is, but it's not that. And at this point, that's not fucking good enough. This argument has been going on for long enough that the flat Earth side should have some kind of explanation for what it is, but there is never any advancement in what the flat Earth brings to the argument. There is never any conclusive proof or evidence that anyone can go and get and find. And any kind of evidence that a flat earther or the flat Earth side think that they have is easily debunked by anyone with the most basic ability to do research and have critical thinking. So you promised me a challenge tonight, David, but you have brought nothing but the Flurf basic 101 shit that has been debunked by everyone, including me and everyone before me. So you have no proof that the Earth is flat here, and everyone that's watching this and everyone on all the Facebook groups can see exactly what happened.
Okay, let's see if we can get to some super chats, and then you guys can answer these questions, and then we'll be done for the night. RapidX says, "Great show, guys. Love y'all. Love you too." RapidX also says, "I just need to get an OMFG out because sun in the Earth. What the fuck?" Cleaner Ben says, "NASA budget cut strikes again." That's true. Orlor says, "What is the point that this guy is trying to make? How does any of this prove that the Earth is flat?" That was from the earlier video. Only Sheep Can See says, "Andy, please stop embarrassing." I can't pronounce that. Aterio, you are not the smartest in the room. Fight the Flat Earth is ex-Navy. Demonic Davros says, "Can you even math?" Belgrath says, "Tides aren't waves, and the moon and the sun aren't always over the equator." That again is from the last show. RapidX says, "Everybody quick say bulge." Violence Engineer, "How does the Flat Earth explain tides?" Belgrath 1966 says, "Someone explained to this bozo that the moon isn't always over the equator." That again was from the earlier video. We've got two more and then we'll get to this show. Melissa Calandro says, "Sing it, F you very much." RapidX says, "Bulge." Kevin D, "YouTube is title. It comes in, it goes out." That's just true. Okay, now here's this shows. Sigfrido Sorbia, "It seems there's not atmosphere distortions to people." Aphotic New Zealand says Dunning-Thompson effect. Let's see. I don't know who that is. You guys still want to do this? Hold on. Cajun Crustacean says, for the drink GE looks like he needs. And then Jen Morgan, why is Nathan acting like such a child? Can he relate to adults? It's obvious from his channel that his overinflated ego is most important. Interstellar Artois says, is Fight the Flat Earth debating... somebody says you look like Ice-T, David. That's a compliment.
Ice-T?
Yeah, they said it's Fight the Flat Earth debating Ice-T. That's a compliment.
You know what? Now I can't unsee that.
Yeah. I need that the noise. Dun, dun. What is it? What is that show? God. Law and Order.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Athens 619 says, does Nathan not know how to moderate? You're not supposed to butt in unless somebody gets off topic or talks over each other. Says Frito Sarabia says, why are deserts and lakes considered flat for miles radius? I'm not sure what he means by that. Mark Beiser says, David Muniz, the equations are right because they accurately described reality. Anything you want to say to that, David?
That they well, yeah, I mean, of course, you could come up with the equation after thousands of years of looking for something to come up with that makes sense. And the equations don't. I mean, they say what they try to explain reality, but it's not what you see. I mean, you could make an equation to basically depict whatever you want.
Only if it's verifiable and works. Someone couldn't just come up with an equation for something if it didn't work.
I mean, they made Einstein made an equation just to say the Earth was spinning, but I mean, that's all he did, but it doesn't. That's all. That's why everybody believes it because he made up an equation that said it moved.
Again, the equation wasn't made up; it was discovered.
He made it up. He
Okay,
made it up.
We've got too many of these to get through. We're not going to agree, so let's.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Stephen Steen says, our Nathan is the dumbest. Rapid X, a vacuum doesn't suck dipstick. Mr. Meat Lover 666 says, Nathan would fall to the ground faster due to density. Amanda Garcia, 2 Flatheads, if things fall due to buoyancy, why don't lead balls fall through a wood table? There's a good question. David?
It's solid mass.
Still less dense.
But it's solid, though. I mean, you can't go through solid.
Why not? It's less dense.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's solid, like the air's not solid, that's why it goes through.
Can't cherry pick which bits work and which bits don't, mate.
And I'm not cherry picking. I'm just telling you exactly what it is.
We're not going to agree again. Frito Serapia says, why is gravity a force when Einstein said no? Who is smarter? Einstein to say
oh my
no,
God.
It's still a force and not a constant 9.8 for measurement.
Right. Again, Einstein didn't say it's not a force. He clarified. Right, saying it's a force is the explanation of how it works, whereas Einstein came up with the explanation of why it works, being the bending of space-time. Once again, gravity is the bending of space-time manifesting as a force within Newtonian physics.
Parm Vrick says, if the flat earth gets proved today, I will quit medicine and figure out the law of perspective. Congratulations, your stethoscope is still handily around your neck. Rocket scientist, David's father worked on the SR-71. I guess they're asking if that's true, David.
What? Yeah, with the SR-71 and also the stealth bomber.
Okay.
That's cool.
They want to know why intelligence and critical thinking skipped a generation. Solomon 109 says, first fair debate for a flat earth as of yet. Creation-induced lobotomy says, Flirts make an excellent case for... oh, shit. First, make an excellent case for late-term abortion. Sorry, sometimes you just need to wipe the slate. That's horribly.
Ooh,
Creation
that's
and the
harsh.
dislobby, same thing. SSDG Falcon says, ask Scotty why he is ducking Professor Games. Scrap the Skeptic Squirrel says, actually nothing. Thank you for the super chat. We've got 5 more and then we're done. Virillion says, Scotty doesn't even know what the scientific method is. Caro Genie C says, I'll give you $200 a month if you ban Scotty forever. We will take you up on that. That's the deal. Scotty, you had a price. $200 a month. Done.
David, you don't want Scotty on your side, do you?
Yeah,
Come on, tell me, after meeting me and Scotty there,
anybody could believe in the
you
flat
don't want
earth,
him
it
as a
doesn't
reference.
Who's Your Atheist says, ask him to explain meteorites without gravity. Also, I'm loving Kyle's background. Thank you. Do you want to try to explain meteorites without gravity?
Meteorites?
Mm-hmm. Meteors falling. What makes them fall from space?
And that's the same thing as with the book. I mean, same type of thing. The meteor. Wait, hold on. You're talking about like the meteor showers or meteors that fall
Like
to the
comets,
ground, or the
asteroids,
meteor showers?
anything that comes from space into the atmosphere. What's bringing it? Like when they come flying past
like
Earth, why does it come into the Earth?
Meteor showers. I don't think they're. It's like a solid. I mean, I believe this is like an electrical universe, and those are explained like as some type of electrical phenomenon in the sky.
Well, we can actually watch them enter the atmosphere and then go find them. We actually have pieces of them.
That's 2 different things. Like I'm talking like a meteor shower in the sky. That's something more electrical. But when you have like a meteor that falls into
Right.
it, I mean, there's a lot of people that say that's part of the dome. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know for sure what it is.
Yeah, but what's making it come into the Earth? Like if it's like you say, and gravity's not a thing. When those things come flying past the planet, why all of a sudden come into the Earth? You know, we say that it's gravity pulling it from space. When once it enters the Earth's range of gravity, it's pulling it into the Earth. But your method wouldn't explain that. So how would you explain things from space?
Well, see, the thing is, I didn't say that. There's a force out there. There's something going on there. But what I'm saying is, it's not mass attracting mass. That's what it's not. But
that's
you know
my
there's
problem,
something going
David.
on.
That's my problem. That's my problem is that you go, there's something going on. There's something going on. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely not that.
Yeah. Because
do you not see how that is closed-minded?
No, because the reason why I say it's not it is because there's nowhere in anywhere that we show mass attracting mass. See, that's not provable. But what they explain gravity is mass attracting mass. We don't see that anywhere.
I've given you countless
that's something going on, but that's not mass attracting mass. It's not mass attracting mass.
Well,
that's not what it is. I mean, something's something's going on there. We know something's going on there, but we know that it's not mass attracting mass.
You're embarrassing yourself at this point. You're just saying, I don't know what it is, but it's definitely not that.
Because you don't understand it. It's not my fault that you understand. I try to do my best and explain to you, but I'm sorry I didn't. Sorry, I did a disservice to you.
Okay. Brilliant says, doesn't know anything yet, has the gall to say it's wrong. That's what we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
SSDG Blue Falcon says, why do gravimeters work if there's no gravity? Do you know what a gravimeter is, David?
Gravimeter? Yeah, gravimeter uses weight. I mean, it has a spring that uses weight. That's what they're saying. That's measuring gravity. Gravimeters.
Yeah, weight is a function of gravity.
David, this doesn't involve you because this is from a earlier hangout that we did. I just didn't get a chance to explain this, and then we'll close out. But there was a word used in the first show that we did tonight, and that word was bulge. And it got me thinking, if you're going to choose which side of the fence that you're on, let's say that you're wearing pants. No one wants flat pants because flat pants equals no bulge. If you want the right bulge, always go globe. You get a big honking bulge right there. Flat, no bulge. No one wants flat pants. Always go with the globe.
No.
Okay. Thank you, David, for coming on. Fight the Flat Earth. Always a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. Nathan Thompson, sorry that you had those connection issues, but it was fun as always. And guys, we'll see you back here tomorrow where you'll have me and Mr. Atheist again, and we will be going through another video. Also, Kent Hovind has responded quite a few times to our video. Interesting announcement. Kent Hovind will be with us next Saturday for a discussion. So if you always wondered if Kent Hovind was coming back, he has decided to come back, and he will be with us next Saturday. And the time for that will be announced sometime this week. I'm thinking it's probably going to be in the afternoon. So we'll see you back here tomorrow at 8 o'clock for me and Mr. Atheist. Once again, thank you to these gentlemen, and have a lovely rest of your Saturday. Well, actually, Sunday. Have a great Sunday.
See you later.
Oh, David's not here. I have to close the stream. Okay. Bye now.